The best season of Fortnite. It's an elusive concept, something that everyone will measure with their own set of parameters. Things like map changes, new weapons, new mechanics, battle pass, and overall theme are all things that someone might consider when rating a season of Fortnite Battle Royale. Of course, something I didn't mention there that might just be the most important metric for a big chunk of players is nostalgia. People tend to look back at the older seasons much more fondly than the new ones. For example, I bet right now underneath this very video you can find lots of comments about how the best season of Fortnite came from Chapter 1, which is to say the first 10 seasons. And listen, if you played Season 7 of Fortnite when the game was brand new to you and you were in high school and life was so easy and simple, and for that reason you'll always call it the best season of Fortnite, then I am not trying to take that away from you. But for this video, I want to look a little bit past nostalgia. For this video, we're breaking down what I think is the best season of Fortnite, and I think there's a little more to it. I wanted to start the video by saying that because this one is sure to ruffle some feathers. Early Fortnite is sacred to some people, and when I say that, brace yourself. Season 7 was not the best season of Fortnite. To them, it's pure blasphemy. But that's why I decided to take the time to organize my thoughts and make this video, to comprehensively state my case for my favorite season of the game. You might not agree with me, but you might as well listen to what I have to say before getting angry with me. So with that being said, let's just dive in. I think that the best season of content that Fortnite has ever had is Chapter 2, Season 4, formerly known as Nexus War, informally known as the Marvel season. I guess the first Marvel season to be more specific. Now, first things first, yes, I am a Marvel fan, and that is certainly a contributing factor in me calling this the best season of the game. However, there is much more to the season than just the Marvel theme. If you don't care about Marvel, then you might not fully understand what made this season so special, but if you are a fan of fun battle royales, then there's definitely still something here for you. So let's start off simple. The Battle Pass, the cornerstone of any season of Fortnite. These are paid cosmetic rewards that you slowly earn throughout the season. Since the season was officially licensed by Marvel, the Battle Pass was packed with iconic Marvel heroes. Thor, She-Hulk with human and Hulk styles, Groot, Storm, Doctor Doom, Mystique, Iron Man with a Tony Stark style, and Wolverine. On top of just being a crazy good lineup of characters, Epic Games, as always, has done an amazing job with these designs. They aren't necessarily ripped straight from the movies or from the comics, but are an amalgamation of these different depictions to create the definitive version of the character. Iron Man, for example, doesn't necessarily look like Robert Downey Jr., but you can tell that his look was influenced by the movies. Epic really did their research here and put a lot of love and care into this battle pass. As another example, Mystique, who is a mutant with the ability to take on the appearance of other people, has a completely unique emote allowing her to transform into the skin of a player she's recently eliminated. Not only is this true to the abilities of the character, but it's just an awesome feature. And it's the only way that I can actually kind of pretend that I got the Spider-Man skin from the Chapter 3 Season 1 Battle Pass, just as long as I run into someone else who has it and I'm able to eliminate them. I'm not sure that I will ever get over the fact that I didn't finish that Battle Pass. But another cool detail from this Battle Pass is with Thor's hammer. In the Thor canon, as many of you probably know, this hammer can only be lifted by those deemed worthy by its enchantment. And so, no other skins in the game can equip this hammer because they aren't worthy. Well, with one exception, obviously. And some of these skins have built-in styles that are completely different from the base one. Jessica Walters can transform into She-Hulk mid-game if she wants. And Tony Stark can also suit up at any moment. Again, true to the characters and also just flat out a cool feature. You probably also know that Fortnite Battle Passes also come with weekly challenges that help you progress through them quicker. As a Marvel fan and a longtime Fortnite player, I have to say that this is the most fun I've ever had with Battle Pass challenges. To unlock Thor's hammer, there was a set of challenges where you had to visit various Bifrost marks around the map, literally go and lift the hammer from a crater and do damage with it, and then emote on top of a mountain, which also unlocked a new electrified style for Thor as well. Just so cool. A similar set of challenges, but for Iron Man, had you speeding around in sports cars and using upgrade benches just like Tony Stark would do. I could keep going here about this battle pass, but we have so much other stuff to get to, I should probably move on. In short, the Battle Pass was packed with iconic characters, had amazing attention to detail, beautiful designs for these beloved characters, fun character-specific features, and an engaging set of challenges to boot. And don't forget that all of this is just for the usual $10 price point, which is a great deal in my opinion. But I know what you're thinking. Cosmetics suck, Battle Passes ruined gaming, yada yada yada. I hear you. So let's get into the gameplay of this season. We all know that a new season of Fortnite would be nothing if it weren't for its new weapons, so let's start there. Nexus War introduced a lot of mythic weapons. We did get some new lower rarity guns like the Stark Industries energy rifle, but mainly we were getting mythics based on heroes' abilities. So let's rattle these off. The season launched with Thor's Mjolnir Strike, Groot's Bramble Shield, Doctor Doom's Arcane Gauntlets, Doctor Doom's Mystical Bomb, Iron Man's Repulsor Gauntlets, Iron Man's Unibeam, and the Silver Surfer's Board. And then during the season, we got Venom's Smash and Grab, Storm's Whirlwind Blast, and Black Panther's Kinetic Armor. So let's just take a second to appreciate not just the sheer volume of these, but the fact that they're so unique and add layers to gameplay that we had never seen in Fortnite before. Iron Man's Repulsors, for example, were like a hybrid movement and attack mythic, letting you fly through the air while shooting the repulsors. Thor's hammer basically being an airstrike, Groot's bramble shield turning you into a wrecking ball, Wolverine's claws allowing you to dodge and dash, and so on. These are all true to the characters they were designed after and add unique elements to gameplay. To me, while there is a limit, obviously, weapons like this will always be more game-changing than another new shotgun or assault rifle. And throwing them all in the loot pool at once for this season was just absolutely insane. I'm sure some competitive players were rubbed the wrong way by the insanity of it all, but personally, I thought it was pure chaotic fun. And it also helped carve out this season's identity as a bombastic clash of heroes. As for map changes, we got a few big POIs and a few smaller ones too. Doom's Domain replaced Pleasant Park, and Stark Industries replaced Frenzy Farm, with the latter quickly becoming the hot drop of the season. There, you could hack Stark robots to become your allies and fight Iron Man himself to get his mythics. This spot overall was just such a fantastic POI. I loved the fall aesthetic. You could find other Iron Man suit variants there. There were 2 Iron Man mythic weapons there, a loot vault, and there was even a reference to Tony's cabin from Avengers Endgame. Stark Industries is definitely the iconic POI from this season, and for good reason. In other spots across the island, we also got a Sentinel Graveyard, Ant-Man's Ant Manor, the Collector's Museum, and instead of the usual spawn island, we got a Shield Helicarrier, which was also really cool because we rarely see unique spawn island locations just for one season like this. And while we're on the topic of map changes, we also got other even smaller things that I think really contributed to the world building of the season. I mentioned earlier that there were Bifrost marks that could be found on the ground, as well as a crater where Thor's hammer fell. In the woods where you can fight Wolverine, his claw marks can be found on the trees. And of course, as the season went on, we saw gradual changes foreshadowing the arrival of Galactus, which we'll talk about later. But when you put all of this stuff that we've talked about together, the Battle Pass cosmetics, the new POIs, the smaller map changes, and the many different mythic weapons in the game, Fortnite almost feels like an entirely new experience. It's probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a high-quality, Marvel-licensed superhero battle royale, letting you fulfill the fantasy of flying around as Iron Man in a PvP setting, taking out squads with your repulsors, or tearing up enemies in close quarters combat as the Wolverine, or of being the God of Thunder and lifting Mjolnir out of a crater. This is the type of thing that you could only find here in Fortnite of all places, within this specific season. Now let's talk about something else that I consider to be very important for a season of Fortnite. A lot of them start off super strong, where everybody's so excited to get on and play, and then they taper off as the weeks go on. Of course, some amount of this is inevitable. unforgettable. But I think that with a steady amount of smart updates, you can keep a big chunk of players engaged with the game even as the season goes on. Nexus War had the best post-launch content out of any Fortnite season that I've played. I remember being constantly engaged and excited to see what was next right up until the very end. We got POI updates scattered throughout the season, like Stark Industries for example. We got tons of iconic Marvel skins come to the shop as well, like Silver Surfer, Blade, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, White Suit Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Taskmaster. And we even got more mythic weapons too to match the heroes being added to the game. And if all that isn't enough for you, we also got a brand new limited time mode, which for some reason Epic doesn't do a lot of anymore, so I'm always happy to see one. The mode was called Marvel Knockout, and it was a bracket style tournament where teams duked it out using only the hero mythics from the season, taking full advantage of all the fun abilities that Epic had put into the game. Literally playing this mode hardly even felt like Fortnite. And while I obviously love Fortnite, that was a good thing because it was giving us something unlike anything we'd had before. The season came to an epic conclusion with a live event featuring one of Marvel's most well-known villains, Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. The production quality behind this live event was insanely good, and to be honest, I feel like we don't talk about it enough. It was complete with voice acting, cutscenes, a Star Fox style section where we got to fly the battle bus, and classic heroic moments for Marvel heroes that feel like they came straight out of the movies. Also, let's not forget that they got legendary voice actor Nolan North voicing Iron Man.
Hey, welcome to the party. You look like someone who needs a jetpack. There you go.
And Steve Bloom voicing Wolverine.
Get me up there, bub.
This is an incredible amount of talent for a small role in a Fortnite live event. Stuff like this shows that Epic Games really cared about this experience. They made sure that these characters felt true to their source material, hired some of the best talent in the industry to voice them, created cinematic and gameplay sections, and then crammed it all into a 10-minute experience that honestly feels like a ride from Disneyland. And I actually think that Disneyland comparison really captures what this live event and maybe even Fortnite is like in general. There's just a magical atmosphere to it. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you feel it. And this live event had the magic. The last thing I want to mention here is such an underrated aspect of each season. Honestly, for any game that does seasons, something that I think affects the overall vibe of a season much more than people realize, and that is how well everything was tied together by the theme. We've seen lots of seasons in this game that kind of have a theme, but they're not really wrapped into every aspect of the season's updates, at least not in the way that we saw here. For Nexus War, the Battle Pass was completely on theme. The new weapons were on theme, new map changes on theme, new LTMs on theme, and the live event, you guessed it, on theme. Say what you will about this season if you don't like Marvel, but you can't deny that this was the most cohesive season of Fortnite ever. I already mentioned this, but for the time that this season was out, Fortnite really felt like a full-on Marvel-themed battle royale, through and through. Staying on theme is what gives each season its own unique feel and identity, and that's why this season had such a strong and defined identity. So to wrap this up, that is why I think Nexus War is the best season of Fortnite that we've ever had, at least up until the day that this video was posted. It was packed with content that actually made the game fun to play. It had a theme that was personally something I've loved ever since I was a kid, and stuck to that theme in every aspect of the season. And it had one of the most memorable, cinematic, and immersive live events the game has ever seen. Look, if you're not a Marvel fan or just not a fan of collabs in Fortnite in general, I could understand how the season might turn you off. But if there was one thing I'd like for you specifically to take away from this video, it's that this season was so much more than just a cheap Marvel cash grab. There was care and love put into this. The gameplay was genuinely fun and unlike anything we'd seen in Fortnite up until that point. The season had regular updates to keep the game fun while also being a love letter to the Marvel universe. Personally, there's not much more I could ask for, except for maybe a Spider-Man skin. Please, Epic Games, find a way to bring this back. I will do anything. Thank you for watching. and stay gold.